Absolutely.
All right. All right. Next question. What do you consider to be your greatest contribution to your business sector?
The greatest contribution?
Yeah, your greatest contribution.
Sales. Bottom line, in business, you have to sell. And sales is getting someone to take some type of action. That's all it is, right? My clients need to take action. It sells.
So, drives you. Okay. And as far as what would you say is your competitive edge? Because there's other companies that, I know you mentioned that you improve the customer service for for other company, but overall, what is your competitive edge as far as a marketeer?
In regards to the payroll company, telepayroll, one thing I've always shared with many friends and colleagues, when it comes to the sales and marketing, the number one reason why they buy, first of all, is you. They buy from you. There's a philosophy I have in providers, the networking group I'm in, and it's called, we state know, like, trust, refer. If they know you, if they like you, if they trust you, they will refer you. Competitive edge, going back to that, besides likability, they should like you first of all, because no matter how great your product is and how inexpensive it may be, if they don't like you, they're not going to buy. So when it comes to payroll services, it is the service, and Kerry can attest to this. When I sold my business, the owner said, our customer service, you have a dedicated service rep. ADP and Paycheck, which is the biggest two payroll companies in the world, it's a call center approach. So when you call customer service, you get a different person all the time. When you call telepayroll, you get their extension, you get their email. They get to know you as a person and not just a company code. It's more of a boutique approach.
Nice. I like that. Okay, and as far as advertising goes, what have you found to be most successful, the most successful way to advertise your insurance business?
Well, when it comes to insurance, social media has been good. I have hire people when you don't know how to do it, right? I'm not a social media king. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know it, but I pay someone to do that type of stuff for me, to get me leads. I also hired a telemarketing company that telemarkets on my behalf. That's not to say I don't pick up the phone. I'm from the old school. I pick up the phone and I make telemarketing calls. I will go door to door. I will do targeted drops. I've worked my butt off going door to door, and it's fun. If you make that type of activity fun, that type of marketing where you can knock on doors and you learn. Again, you're dealing with people. You have a potential decision maker right in front of your face, and you're building a relationship. I'm really good face to face, and I'm good on the phone as well, but building relationships face to face, you can't beat that. And in today's world with texting and it's phone calls, it's more powerful face to face. And if you can get in front of a decision maker, it more than likely you can then get them to take action and set an appointment that way.
Do you feel like that's changing? I mean, maybe as far as how social media is kind of taking control over like the new generations and the way that they communicate. Do you feel like there will maybe be a gap or kind of something lacking in the new generations to where they don't really want that interaction, or maybe it might be a little bit awkward for them to where they're used to just email me or text me or whatever it is.
The answer is yes, it's evolving into that. But one thing I've learned is, if you own a business, and I'm not going to stereotype millennials, I can walk in, meet you today, hey, how you doing, shake your hand, and then afterwards I can text you if I have your cell phone. Then I can email you, but now you see my face.
Yeah.
We had a chance to laugh and joke around and build common. If I can find something in common with you, I can bring it up on a text. Right? Or if I didn't know Carrie, how was that margarita today? We're gonna build a relationship because I was here.
Yeah.
You have to use both. And I think with the younger generation, it's just social media, texting and emails and Instagram, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you can combine both, the close ratio will be much higher.
I agree. That's an interesting perspective.
Have you seen the young have you seen the way young people do it now? And have you seen a huge difference? And have you seen lots of area where they can learn?
I've signed up. There's a new restaurant I signed up in Cerritos, and these are young guys, about 4 young guys. It's a bar, loud music in the background. I have to align myself with them. So when I Googled those guys, and you had to do your research, and I went on their website, and they wanted to meet really quick that same day. They called me because I dropped off information over and over, and then finally they called. But that day I was dressed in a suit and a tie. So of course I took my suit off and took my tie off so I could align myself with these guys. And I carry a lot of, in my car I have different ties, different shirts, different suits, just for those occasions. It's changed. I went to Huntington Beach, and the CPA, I had a tie on, and he told me, don't ever walk in here with a tie. You know, we're all very casual here. I'll never walk in there with a tie again. Thank you for letting me know. And he sends me referrals, Jack Merritt.
Oh,
The guy has shorts and a t-shirt, sends me a lot of referrals. But the first time I ever met him, this was about 15 years ago, I wore a tie, and he just told me don't wear a tie. But there's other firms that I have to wear a tie. So I'll go to my car and put a tie on.
So again, you apply the whole chameleon approach. Right?
Absolutely. Looks, personality, you're a package, you're a product. You are a product. You're selling yourself. I'm a product when I meet with these companies, these individuals.
As far as obstacles go, what would you say is has been your biggest obstacle, whether in business or whether being that type of person that must adapt to different personalities and all that? What would you say is your greatest obstacle in both of those worlds?
There really hasn't been I wouldn't say obstacle, but mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes. I love making mistakes.
Learning lessons.
You just learn so much, and there's nothing. I know a lot of people. Oh, I never make mistakes. They're very, and mistakes are good. If you make more, the more mistakes you make, the more you learn. And I've been taken advantage business-wise. I've lost money, had some bad investments, trusted the wrong people, but now I'm able to teach and to make sure other people don't do that. I can give back and say, look, here's what happened, or here's your scenario, here's what I went through. Make sure you don't do this, or make sure you have this buy-sell agreement in place if you're going to start this company. Make sure you have, I can educate and teach. I help companies startup companies, and I can give them advice on what to do, what not to do. So it's not that there's been obstacles, but the mistakes I've made, I've overcome, and I've learned from them.
Move forward. What types of innovative ideas have you used or seen? What types of innovative ideas?
Can you clarify that?
Yeah, that's my next question.
Is it? Oh, it is. Sorry.
So, I think you kind of touched on it already when you were talking about social media, but really, is there anything that's innovative, that's just constantly forward moving, that you've seen or that you've utilized?
Well, in the business world, it's LinkedIn.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is powerful. If you can really learn and take advantage of LinkedIn and research when you're meeting with someone on LinkedIn, who you're connected with, who do they know, ask for an introduction. It's powerful, technology-wise. But if you're asking me about, what is the ultimate question here?
Well, it's actually from one of our peers.
Oh, he's not here.
Yeah, she's not here,
Okay.
so it's kind of hard to but that I mean, that's still good information.
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn is a great resource.
Her question was, what types of innovative ideas have you used or seen? But again, we touched on it really with social media. I think that's the most innovative at this point, right?
Well, okay.
Would you consider LinkedIn social media though? Because I think it's kind of like
It is.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So innovative ideas. Here's an innovative idea that's not technology driven, that goes back to what I believe is old school sales. There's a company I was calling on, and telemarketing company in Paramount, manufacturing company, and I said, Oscar, when are you gonna finally? I've been calling on him for a while. I go, when are you gonna finally come on board? He goes, well, I'm gonna come on board when I'm ready, Paris, and kept blowing me off, right? So during the holidays, I think it was about Christmas time, I made one call and I said, is Oscar in? And this lady picked up and she said, well, Oscar's is not in. Who's this? I go, this is Paris with, telepayroll. And she said, well, what do you need Oscar for? I go, well, we talked about payroll services and it'll be a good idea to probably come on board in January. He goes, well, he doesn't make those decisions. I own the company. And I'm like, okay, and I'm sorry. And she goes, he's my husband, but I own the company. So I stereotype number one, don't stereotype just because he's the man, he doesn't automatically own the company. And as I was getting to know her, we were joking around, it was the holidays, and she said, yeah, we're gonna have a holiday party. And I just basically said, look, don't drink and drive, just trying to be, a little humor in there, don't drink and drive. And she said, well, I don't really drink, but when I do, I drink wine from Olive Garden, and I don't remember the wine, but I wrote it down.
Nice.
So, I don't know if I should.
Go.
That's good. That's
So
slick.
I went to Olive Garden and I said, you know what, do you have this wine? And the guy said, yes, but I can't sell it to you unless I open it and cork it back. We're not a retail store. And he goes, well, you know what, if you go down the street, you get the same bottle, less expensive. I go, what, can I get an Olive Garden bag? He goes, sure. So he gives me an Olive Garden bag, buy the bottle of wine. The next day, I do my drop with a note. She wasn't in. And 2 days later, I get a voicemail saying, thank you for the wine, Paris. I was very thoughtful. That was it. And then 6 months later, I get a call from her. And she goes, you know what, Paychex dropped the ball. I'm ready to come on board, come by. Just because of the wine bottle.
Yeah.
That's not technology, but that's innovative. I always tell, don't just drop off marketing materials. Don't drop off brochures. Be creative.
Yeah.
I would call telemarketing another company, and the lady just ripped me apart. She said, don't ever call here again. I told you, and dropped the F-bomb, cursed me out, and said, quit calling me, take me off your list, just stop calling you, and I'm really cursed me out. I was like, whoa. That same day, I popped up on her, and I asked for her if she came out. And she goes, I can't believe you have the audacity to come here after I just yelled at you. And I said, look, I apologize, I caught you on a bad day. And I just wanted to apologize. And when you're face to face, it's really hard to be mean. So she was nice, and she goes, look, it's not you. It's all these payroll companies keep calling me, and I'm happy with ADP, and I'm not gonna switch. Okay, and we started talking, and she was getting more comfortable. She started talking about her daughter. She was about to have a baby. This was a few years ago. And then, you probably remember this, Mulan. She was gonna name her daughter Mulan. And I'm like, okay, that's, I'll write that down. And so what did I do? I go to Toys R Us and I buy a Mulan doll. And then I dropped, maybe like a couple days later, I popped up, gave her the Mulan doll, said, look, this is for your daughter, tell her, congratulations. Small talk, and left.
Wow.
3 months later, she calls me. Said, look, ADP dropped the ball. I'm ready to come on board. This is a lady that cursed me out and told me to never call her again. So innovative ideas, you have to be innovative. You can't just use social media face to face, kill them with kindness, apologize, be kind, and give them something memorable. Drop off something that's not just a brochure on your company.
And I mean, your listening skills are excellent too. I mean, you're looking out for that one thing that they're going to mention that you can kind of go and.
What'd you say? No, I'm just kidding. I heard you. Listening skills, right?
Yeah, listening skills.
With work only.
You want to take a quick little break? Just kind of.
It's up to you
kind
guys.
of roll.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Keep going, or let's keep going.
It doesn't matter.
We're on a roll right now. All right.
Thank you. How's your margarita?
You have to
You
put that
guys-
on tape, don't you?
You have something to eat or something else to drink, just let me know.
Okay, thank you.
I know a good one I like. I like this one. What are the top 3 ways, or it doesn't have to necessarily be 3, to help make your customers stay loyal to you, aside from what you're just saying? After you get them with all your little ideas, how do you keep them loyal to you?
I stay in touch at least every 3 months with a phone call, an email, if, depending on text, popping up when I'm in the local area. So you have to say, it's not just a company email. Like we send out emails all constantly to stay in touch with our clients. But on a personal level, I send them an email, hey, just checking up on you, just want to see how payroll is. Is there anything I need to follow up on? It's just, or how's insurance? Is there anything I need to follow up on? Just as long as they hear from you, or I'll call randomly when I'm stuck in traffic. I have my client list, and I'll call on the freeway. I like to be very productive. I don't like downtime. So I drive a lot. I'm everywhere in SoCal. So when I'm stuck in traffic, I'll just make a quick phone call, and it's a phone call where I don't need to write notes. So it's easy to, hey Mike, how you doing? Just checking up on you, what's going on? Just shoot the breeze. And they like that. They appreciate that.
How long is your average call like when you do just like those small calls you're talking about, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes? I mean,
depending on who it is. Some I are longer because I actually enjoy talking to them, and there's others. Well, it's you can't get along with not like everybody, but you got to just check up on them, and sometimes there's just nothing there. You want to find common ground, but you're still calling. I'm not going to lie and say, oh, everybody loves me, but you're still checking up on them, and they're hearing from you, and they appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that's a great strategy, because you're calling them not on a business level, it's more on a personal level, and people are naturally all about themselves. So when you talk about them, that's about their day was, and all that. They kind of forget about the business for a moment, and they kind of they won't forget you for that.
No, and it's twofold, and I do it because I like my clients. In order to be in sales, you really have to like people. You have to like people.
Yeah.
Bottom line, if you don't like people, you're in the wrong business. At the same time, what I'm doing just by liking someone and talking to them, they think of me when it comes to referrals. And in order to grow your business, you need referrals. And they will genuinely refer you because they want you to succeed as well. And there's going to be times when I do call. And that is the main purpose of my call, is because I need a referral. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've called you before to shoot the breeze and let's chat. Maybe 6 months later, I'm calling you, hey Mike, can you do me a favor? Is there any other companies that when you're friends or family or your vendors that can use my service? There's nothing wrong with asking for a referral. You're in the business. And if you can get referrals, the close ratio is a lot higher.
That's where it's at. All right. What percentage of marketing budget would be considered effective in your opinion?
I'm probably not. Every company is different. I'm probably could answer that in a global way, depending on your company, your budget, size, goal, short term, long term, immediate sales. That's a very tough question to answer based on this interview.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, this one's obvious, but do you encourage customer feedback?
Absolutely.
And do you allow other customers to see it, whether it's good or bad?
Okay.
Yeah, so as far as, let's say you were to get would you encourage your customers to leave you a Yelp review or any type of review online? Do you encourage that?
Yeah, absolutely. You want feedback. You don't know what you don't know. And sometimes you think you're doing great and you're not doing great. Have we lost clients in the past? Absolutely. You're not going to have 100% retention rate. But you want to find out why they left. But you want to find out, more importantly, before they leave, why they might leave, right? So you can save them. So we do surveys. And again, sometimes when you make that phone call, and you'll be surprised, and I'm glad you called, Paris, because I have an issue. And that's normally my opening before I ask for a referral. I'll call and find out how's our service going. Is there anything we can do to improve? Have we dropped the ball in any way? And if they say no, everything's great, everything's fine, we love you guys, then I'll ask for a referral. But I can't ask for a referral if there's a problem. Now, problems are good. Problems are good because if you can fix it and make them happy, then they'll refer. So I don't hide or run from problems. And if you make a mistake, I hold myself accountable. You just have to admit it. There's a lot of companies that, well, our system did this, and it's this reason. Hey, I dropped the ball. I forgot to turn this piece in. I dropped the ball, and I don't have a problem saying that. I actually like saying that. If I did drop the ball, it makes me feel good. I'm being honest, and it nips it in the bud. People I've had someone yell at me, but once you admit you're wrong, they don't know what else to say. They're just stuck. They just stop. If you argue with your significant other, right? People like to argue. You're right. I am an asshole. I'm sorry, and I won't do it again. Well, okay, now what? They don't know what else to say, right? So if you admit you're wrong when you are wrong, and sometimes just to nip it in the bud. Sometimes I know service dropped the ball, but I don't want to go around that game. I'll just say, look, I dropped the ball. It's not service. What can I do now to fix it? Let's move forward. Let's not focus on service. Here's what we can do. What are your suggestions? Here's what I suggest. Just look at options, how to fix the problem. So, yeah, feedback is good.
Okay. And then, as far as rewarding the customers for their feedback, is there any incentive for them or anything like that?
Do companies do that reward for? Yeah, I think they offer them discounts if they fill the survey out, but I think that's they may not answer truthfully. If they're getting something. It's not. I don't do that. I don't give them a discount or give them an incentive to give me feedback. Can you tell me how wonderful I am, and I'll give you $1, $5, I'll buy you lunch. Tell me how great I am. Great. Here's the Starbucks. Now I feel good.
How long have you been in the current field of marketing, like total years?
22 years.
22 years. And now, to kind of just shift the conversation to something a little bit different. As far as let's say if you were to have a stressful week, what would you do to wind down or to distress from your stressful week? Let's say just some things that you like to do.
Don't mention Jack.
You did already.
It is important.
One thing I enjoy is hanging around people that like to laugh and have fun. When you are laughing, you can't be depressed or sad. You're laughing. If you're smiling, like I challenge you right now to smile and feel sad. You can't do it. If you smile, you can't be sad. Just smile, right? So if you're around a lot of positive people, and that's where happy hour, I guess, one happy hour because you're around fun people and you're laughing and you're having a good time, you can't be sad. Or I go to the comedy club. If you're laughing, you can't be sad. Read a funny movie. If you're laughing, you can't be sad or depressed. You can't be stressed. You're laughing. So surround yourself with laughter. It's the most inexpensive form of therapy. It's laughter.
And as far as when you're having those moments of laughter, or when you're around people that make you laugh or make you feel good, does that business switch turn off, or is it always on, like in some way or another?
It's always on some way or another, but that's me. Okay. That's the world. Some people shut down and they like to shut down. I enjoy business. I enjoy moving and shaking. I love it. So I don't shut down, but that's not to say it's wrong to shut down. Everybody is different. I just do it my way, and there's laughter, but I could be talking with colleagues and business partners and we're laughing, but we're talking business, but we're having a good time talking about business. So I don't shut down.
So you're always thinking about it.
But I thrive on that. That's just me. Again, that's just me. Some people shut down. There's nothing wrong with that, to shut down.
Okay. As far as school goes, what do you feel was your biggest takeaway from school versus maybe something you could have learned in the industry? Like just working instead of going to school.
When I was at Cal State Long Beach, I was very involved. I was in a fraternity. I was in business organizations. I was AS Senate for the College of Business. I spoke publicly. I thrive on speaking in public. The more you can speak in public, the more confident you'll be. The number one fear that people have in the world is speaking in public, and I wanted to conquer that. And biggest lesson I've learned, I took a speech class, first speech class I've ever taken, and I didn't prepare for it. The day before, I was playing basketball with some friends, and I was cocky, I was young, and I thought, I'll wing it and I'll nail it. Never prepared. So I had my cards, and they weren't even numbered, and I started doing my presentation, and it actually dropped on the floor, and they weren't numbered, so I picked them up, and I was lost. I was shaking, and it was one of those moments, want to get away, right? I did not want to be there, but that never happened again. I told myself, prepare, prepare, prepare. And every presentation I have, it comes off natural. They think, oh, he just came up there and spoke. No. Behind the scenes, I'm working my ass off, hours and days before that presentation because of that mistake I made in college. And I would never put myself in that position again. So there's no such thing as overly preparing. Just prepare, prepare, and prepare.
Funny, I never knew that about you, and you always come off like it's just like you're just speaking off the cuff. And it's like, damn, it's a good speaker because it's just speaking off the cuff. Like you would never know you're prepared. Really.
I prepared.
It's that good. I'm not lying.
Cost me $5 every time she says that. Shit.
No, you owe me like 1,000.
That's true.
You mentioned a book earlier in the conversation. Are there maybe 2 specific books that you would recommend for us to read besides the one you already mentioned?
For now, Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you're not outselling, you're being outsold. And then when you go into management or you have a company one day, buy this book, From Good to Great.
From good to great stuff? Okay, that's pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, can we have your email and your?
Yeah, you get all that.
I have that.
Yeah, okay.
I will.
You guys have any other questions you want to add? That's pretty much all the list. I think we did.
See, it lasted.
Yeah.
You just didn't know.
We're at like it says 27 minutes, but I don't think it's been 27 minutes.
I know one. What do you think? What knowledge do you have about specific customers that your competitors may lack? And how do you use this knowledge to your benefit?
What knowledge do I have about
Customers. So, like, what do you know about the customers and what you're selling, either payroll or insurance? What is it that you may know that maybe others don't know because you've been in it so long, your experience, whatever it may be, and you use it to your benefit?
Well, it's not that
Or what they
others
want.
may not know. When you're dealing with a company and they're using my competition, is that what you're asking me? What they may not know, that the customer?
And you use it to your advantage, yeah.
There's a lot, right? Depending on the product, what service model or product they're on with that company. I will say this. I know my competition's weakness, but you never badmouth your competition. You just say, look, it's a great company. They're a good company. If it's ADP, I used to work for them, you know. If it's Paychecks, it's a good company. I have friends there. And I'll transition by saying, here's what I know that their limitations are. Now, it might have changed. It's been a few years. Might have changed. But I will drop that seed because it might have changed, you know. And I will say, here's what they lack on this product. It cannot do A, B, and C. When it comes to service, here's the difference. When it comes to this feature, here's what they cannot do. But again, that may have changed, you know. So I'm not saying they can't do this, they can't do that, they can't, and then I look bad if they could, all of a sudden, right? They do a demo, and all of a sudden, oh, Paris, they can do that, so you look really bad by, you know, trying to badmouth them. So I always express my knowledge of what I know they can't do, but I give myself an out just in case it's changed.
And I know you mentioned earlier about something, you know, you learned how you made a lot of mistakes in investing here and there. You know, just as far as, you know, where you're at now, what would you recommend as far as investment? You know, let's say, you know, we're a little bit older and we're kind of we have more money to spend. What would you recommend as far as investing? You know, real estate, franchise, or just our own business type of thing? What would you recommend?
I recommend investing in something you have passion for. If I say buy this franchise, you can make a lot of money, but you don't have a passion for making burgers, why would you do that? Even though you can make a lot of money, you're gonna eventually hate your job, your career. you have to